Okay, now are we about ready to go to that clip? Let's go to another show right now. You know, something that's funny is we don't have the sound on out here because it would cause some reverb for you. But it is so funny watching people sing without any sound. But so far we've seen 3 clips, one from an Indian show with an Indian flute player. We've seen Ethiopian youth and now Korean opera singers. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
I want to go to the next slide if we can. This slide is Real Girls, Scan Youth Media and Real Girls. Let's go. Let's one more. Tell me about Real Girls.
This was from RGTV, and this is a program that Real Girls does. And they shoot little pods, little 1 to 2 minute clips, pieces of media. And then they come to the studio to do kind of wraparounds of that media. So the photograph that you just saw was, this is the Real Girls again. Yeah,
working in
editing
right?
in the studio. So what happens is industry professionals, local industry professionals, come to the studio to mentor the girls as they create their program here at the studio. And that airs, of course, on during Scan Youth Media.
Well, let's go to the next slide, too. And you know what we're doing? Diane and Ed, we're sort of making Taj the star here, but I mean, how can anything get better than to serve kids? So let's go to the next one. Here's some kids getting training. I guess that's what happening.
That is exactly what's
Where is
happening. That's actually back by Studio 2, right in front of Ed's office, actually, which we made quite a bit of noise this summer.
Oh, well.
We had a lot of kids running through here. But this was the summer we worked with Seattle Youth Employment Project, and that's one of our girls
there. Is there a better
there.
smile than that? That's a fantastic smile.
And they were here every day. They worked here, paid through the city of Seattle. And what they did was they shot their own show. They shot 4 episodes of a show called Real Teens, where they interviewed youth from Garfield Rec Tech. They interviewed the Progressive Animal Welfare Society, and they also worked with Asian Counseling and Referral Services Get Real program with their media. So they did everything here, and they did some admin.
So Ed, except when the kids are right outside your office yelling and screaming, do you get to work with them?
Yes, I do. You know, a funny story about those youth, the edit suite is right next to my office, and for hours I would hear this giggling and you know, girls are they're just having a good time, and I think if you know, that's real infectious, and it's, you know, sometimes they get a little noisy, but you know the passion they had and the fun they were having, I think that was important.
Diane, so we've heard an awful lot, and diversity here it's big in Seattle, and it's big right here at SCAN.
That is absolutely true. That's how come when I went to the mayor's budget presentation on Monday, I was shocked because he started off his budget presentation talking about that these cuts were in part driven by an analysis of the race and social justice lens, that he didn't zero out any programs or tried very hard to maintain all of the programs that engaged and enriched our diverse communities of Seattle. And I thought to myself, well, then SCAN must be really safe, and they probably gave us a bonus because we serve such a diverse population of young and old and ethnic and cultural groups. So it was absolute shock to then come back and go over the budget with a fine-tooth comb to see that there was actually $0 in the budget for SCAN, given that A, we are not taking money away from the general fund in any sort of way. We have dedicated resources through resolutions and ordinances of the city itself and the federal government for franchise fees, and that we have the most diverse programming where we're engaging every community that you saw here tonight as well as the ones that you didn't see.
And you know, something that I am really proud of and is that whenever I walk in here, it's great to see people who don't look like me and they don't talk like me, and some of them don't even talk my language. So do we have this clip up? Because speaking of talking a different language, this is such a great group that does this, and let's go to it right now.
cabdiyo waxaan u jeeday ciyaarta markay dhammaan rabtay adoo mar wax kala badbedelayo gacmaha tagtay cabdiyo maxay waxaa sheegaysa markaa
والله واحد قال مشي just only the system كان واحد بدله
hal gool lagu lahaa
ها
waxaalada systemki waa shaqayn waayna way
ان شاء الله دوا شقي لكن سبحان الدين لكن قول لا لك يا
sidee u aragtay guud ahaan ciyaarta
You know, here was the thing that I was thinking about before. If I were to live in Somalia and be one of 5% or 3% of the people who spoke English, I would be thrilled when I saw a television show in my language.
I think that's absolutely true. And there's nothing funner than on a Saturday night when Somali TV comes in to do their live show and they're enthusiastic, be it about soccer, be it about some cultural event or activity going on. And then the other thing that they do is they actually have a Somali newspaper that ties into what's going on air. And so they circulate that to their membership.
I want to go to these next two slides
Okay.
because, while speaking of diversity, again, these are people who have been the guests right here. Here's a Vietnamese boat person. Here's someone who is from the World Affairs Council, someone who works with Sierra Leonean amputee soccer, the person who found the mad cow, Ludmila Krabel, a woman who grew up in the USSR and then she returned to her former home, and then the person who brought in a goat. Was it Snowball or Snow White came in here, right? And let's go to the next slide because there's more people there. Pacific Northwest Salmon Center. He was Schwan, a Kurdish-American, incredible gentleman. And then Chip Hanover, a name that so many of us know, but he wasn't here because he was driving hydroplanes. He was here because he was volunteering to drive veterans.
Right, I remember that.
Diane, I want you to get to talk about your staff. So let's go to this next slide. These are the people who would not be able to provide community media if the mayor's budget doesn't get changed.
Right. SCAN has 14 employees. I think that the majority of us are full-time employees, and then at this point we have about 3 part-time employees. And it just touches my heart to think about how good and how great they are. These are people that could be doing anything else in the world. Every day I come to work and I see Taj and I see Ed, and I think about how fortunate we are because Taj has a real presence with young people, and Ed is just so solid and competent. It's like I know that we're always secure in that the studios are set up right and that things are operational. And then we have a great administrative team with Jamie Flaxman as the Director of Development and Marketing. And the thing is, they want to be here. They've made choices and decisions in their lives that they want to do this because the public and diversity and being able to tell stories that couldn't otherwise be heard are so important to them. And so I think that it would be a grave mistake. As a matter of fact, the Office of Cable Communications gets $634,000, which is proposed in the 2011 budget for 2.75 FTEs. That is our line item for staff salaries for 14 people.
Wow, that's something. We've got to go. Ed, Taj, Diane, thank you very much for being here. Remember, just email to Richard Conlon, richard.conlon@seattle.gov, and all you have to do is say, keep SCAN. We'll see you right here on Public Exposure next week. Take care.
Great show. Thank you so much.